All right, well, let's hope the good Lord that I don't screw it up this time. I did a whole review yesterday on the Yamaha Tracer 900 GT. Welcome back to the channel. This is Tommy the Cheese, and we're going to go over the things I like about this bike and the things I don't. You guys inspired me on the last video. Got way more views than I thought that anybody really cared, but I guess people are just looking for reviews on the bike. So I'm going to tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and what I've done to it. First of all, this is a 10,000 mile review for the Yamaha 2020 Tracer 900 GT. So I'm going to start with the cons. The thing I really hate about this bike is the standard windshield that comes with it. You'll see that this is not standard. The standard windshield is very tiny. And when I bought the bike, when I was riding, let's say anywhere above 45 miles an hour, the wind buffeting was so bad that it made it unenjoyable to ride. It was awful. I hated it. I'm like, spent all this money on a bike and I'm miserable. So if you don't drive above 45 miles an hour, you're probably not going to be a big deal, but I do, and it was awful. It took me a couple of tries before I ended up on this Madstad Engineering windshield. This part here, and it comes with these little wings here, really nice, and that made the bike so much better. The hand guards that come with it, pretty much worthless. You've got this portion here, this black portion. Now I had to buy this edition. It's a Puig, no, I'm sorry, Jivy attachment, which makes it a hell of a lot better. There's a tremendous amount of vibration on this bike when you're up about 4,000 RPMs, and that's kind of cruising speed. And again, like sometimes it would be really bad, other times not so bad. But what I did is I ended up putting on some grip puppies right here. You get these off of Amazon, and it's a British company. And then these frame sliders, which are plastic, and this is RG Racing, and that really helped. The manufacturer did not include anything beyond this to help dampen them. I tried to find some metal ones and just couldn't find anything that fit, but these fit. They're plastic, but they do work quite well, so really happy about that. And then you know, really the sound of this thing, I kind of enjoy a little bit more of the rumble sound, and this has got that whine, and my neighbor's fixing his house. It's got that whiny sound, which, you know, that's just a personal preference. You would think that Sunday morning, man, the dude would that's his only day off. But anyway, and then what really confused me when I started out was the lights on this thing. And I'm going to show you, I'll show you the touchscreen display while we're here. Pretty nice, you know, pretty simple. And everything is run by this wheel over here. But to start it up, here's your startup, and it's a nice big display. It's got time, temperature, you've got everything's controlled off of that. It's pretty cool. But what I didn't like is when you start the bike up, these are the high beams, and you can see the high beams right there, you know, very bright. But on the standard daylight, it looks like only one light works. And you know, so read your manual. That's how you fix that. It was stated in the manual what the deal was, and that's okay. But let's move on to the things also that I hated. The seat. The seat was hideous. If you're on for more than 30 minutes, it's brutal. It's terrible. So I went from the standard seat and figured, oh, I'll get the heated seat. Not much better, a waste of money, you know, because the reality is, if you're on the bike long enough, the heat of the motorcycle is going to heat that seat up a little bit. And I live in a climate where, you know, I'm not, if it's 35 degrees, I'm not riding, you know. But here are the additions that I had to make, and some of the things that came standard. The side luggage came standard with it. I had to put on the rear carrier and also the attachment here, so that would all work. The seat, I finally ended up on a Corbin seat, which is phenomenal, and put on these engine guards here, and I believe these are Jivy. And then, like I said, the hand guards, the extra grips, not hush puppies. I said it before, I said it right. And then this comes with a center stand, which is really nice, and then also adjustable, pre-adjustable load right there. I don't do any real mechanical work on this thing other than changing the oil and cleaning and lubing the chain. The engine on this thing is nice. It's a 847cc triple cylinder. Really a lot of get up and go, more than I'll ever use, but really nice. This thing gets 50 miles to the gallon. Super, you know, 91 and above octane. It's got ABS, it's got traction control, it's got a slipper clutch, grip puppies is what I was looking for, and preload adjuster, like I said, and the adjustable forks. But really just a nice bike to ride. It's got a nice upright seating position, but really the things I'm very most pleased with is this windshield. Madstat Engineering, I think they're out of Florida. I'll probably put some links down in the comments section. But the engine guards were easy to put on. The windshield was easy to put on. Most of the additions I did were pretty easy. A nice thing, they do have this comes standard. Yamaha has this little plug-in here, so you can use a trickle charger. But this seat was money, man. I love this thing. Very, very comfortable. It's pretty stiff, but makes for a lot of comfort on the ride. So and as you can tell, I'm one of these guys that has all this reflective stuff. I just don't want to die on the road yet. But anyway, great bike. It was a labor of love getting it to where I could really enjoy it. Got a 4.8 gallon fuel tank. You know, good riding, a lot of fun, very sporty. And the reason I bought it was because I had a Goldwing, and my wife decided she didn't want to ride. So that's why I bought it, really for us to ride. And then I'm like, well, I really kind of enjoy a sportier bike. The Goldwing's beautiful. It's a nice bike. I loved it. But I really enjoy a sportier type ride, and I don't need that big bike for what I do. So I got this Yamaha, and I also put on this protector here, the radiator grill. And you know, for a guy who does pretty much fair weather riding, it's got a lot of stuff on it. The pegs I've just kind of left, haven't done anything with them yet, simply because Yamaha, for some unknown reason, you got to drill out the back side of the driver's side peg to replace them. The other side has a cotter pin, and you know, it's real easy. But nice bike, have really enjoyed it, fun to ride, gives me all the engine that I absolutely need. So with that said, we're going to stop this thing and go for a ride. All right, so hopefully this works this time, because here's the deal. Yesterday I came out here and I did this, and I did not select the GoPro mode properly. So all I got was a bunch of frickin' stills, and so that sucked. But I give it up to the full-time YouTubers, because making content is a lot of work, man. And I know some of these folks do it full-time, but holy cannoli, it can take a lot of work and be frustrating at times. So to them I say well done, because it is a pain in the neck sometimes. Holy jeez, you know, do you ever wake up and you just start spouting a bunch of expletives, you know, just in general. So we're going to get rolling on this deal and just discuss a few things about this bike. And I think, like I mentioned previously, one of the nicest things is just the fact that the seating position is just really, it's great for me. It's kind of sitting up pretty straight. There is a, you know, a little bit of knee bend, but not like on my Honda. This is, for me, a very more relaxed sitting position, and you know, I enjoy it. I really do. It on the road you sit up kind of high, and it does really make for a very, very comfortable ride, for sure. So well, it is Sunday. Daylight savings time has ended, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm sick of this clock shit, back and forth, and it really doesn't make a dang bit of difference. It's a pain in the neck when you lose that hour, boy, and then your body biorhythms get all off and stuff like that. But anyway, so it's kind of a blustery day here in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. Kind of like yesterday, but I think it's supposed to be a little bit warmer. But anyway, it's nice enough to get out on the bike. It's about 50 degrees, and we got some nice foliage. It's kind of a little past peak. This wind has really knocked some of these leaves off. But anyway, I guess we're here talking about the bike. So, like I said, love the seating position. On the display, you've got, you know, any kind of maintenance minders you want to put in there. It's going to give you your miles per gallon. Excuse me. It's going to give you, you know, a couple of trip odometer kind of things, and temperature, and operate your heated grips. And also, I forgot to mention, there's a little 12 volt, us old farts used to call it a cigarette lighter, because in cars that's what we used to have. But anyway, you can, you know, charge your stuff via USB or whatever kind of thing you want to put in that 12 volt thing. But anyway, you know, this bike is more bike than I will ever need. I am not a speed demon, and try to be careful and, you know, leave distance and travel, but it took me a while to get used to this bike. I was, you know, I got it, and initially for me, the throttle was very, very kind of fickle. You know, it was very sensitive, because I was used to the Honda and my other bikes. You know, there was a little bit of play in the throttle. This one, you know, it's got some traction modes and stuff like that, which is great, but I really I've got it in standard mode, and I had to take it down to B mode for a little while, which I think is like rain mode, where your throttle's not as sensitive, and then I don't know, I just kind of got used to it. So I'm always a little bit surprised when I do get on the throttle of this thing a little bit, of how quick it goes. Now, it's not the fastest bike in the world, but plenty for me, and really just a lot of fun. It's real sporty, and the way it feels riding, but I'm not hunched over like a sport bike. And I had, you know, other bikes in the past. I think I mentioned this in the other video, but I started out on a Honda Cruiser, a Honda State Line, and really I just didn't like the way that I sat in it. It was an okay motorcycle, but I preferred, the Goldwing had a little bit more sporty feel just when you drive it, and I liked that more, and I was more upright. So I really thought that the Cruiser would kind of be me with your, you know, feet forward a little bit and just, you know, cruising. But at the end of the day, it was not for me. So that's why I bought the Honda, and then bought this Yamaha when the Goldwing wasn't going to work out with my spouse and I. Nothing wrong with the Goldwing, I liked it, but I like this too, man, for what I need. And honestly, I am just a casual rider. I've only been riding for a couple of years. This bike is a year old, and put 10,000 miles on it, and I really tried to really kind of forced myself to ride it, because it was uncomfortable for me, and the Honda was a heck of a lot easier to ride. But after taking a lot of time and getting used to the throttle and everything else, and making the adjustments on the bike, you know, with the seat and everything like that, and the windscreen, I really do kind of like this bike. And it's I just love having that extra power when I need it. It's not often, but it sure is nice to be able to separate yourself from some traffic and just get out of the way, or whatever. Or if you're, you know, you got some idiot driving around you who is being foolish, and it's just good to go on and get away. So if you are interested in this bike, you know, I think I've kind of given you the good and the bad as honestly as I could. There were some things that really, I was when I got it, man, I was like, oh man, did I just waste all that money on this bike? The head buffeting was awful. It was just hideous. And I'm not a tall guy. I'm 5'9", 5'9" and a half maybe. And it sucked. It was terrible. But anyway, I'm using the Michelin Road 5s on this thing. One of the other adjustments I did make on the bike was that the air valves on the tires are often really hard to get to, so I had some 90-degree valve stems put on, and that makes it a little bit easier to put air into it. And so that was all good. And the The hand warmers on this thing, heated grips, wow, they get really hot. When you put it up on the highest setting, I can have winter gloves on, and there are times when, you know, it's pretty cold and your hands are just kind of out there, and I've got to turn that when it's all the way up, and I've got winter gloves on, which are kind of thick, and I've got to turn it down because it gets so dang hot, you know, through the grips, through the gloves. And on these grip puppies, that's going to be the same deal. You know, the heat will get through them, so I'm not worried about that. That is just blows my mind. You know, it seemed like it took the seat a long time to warm up when I had that, but I really don't need it for my riding. You know, maybe if you're in a colder or damper climate, it's going to make more sense to you, but that touring seat is just not good for a long distance comfort. Or maybe I'm just too large and I need a extra comfy seat. But this really was happy with this Corbin thing. I bought it, and I think that they were saying it was going to be like, you know, 4 to 6 weeks or something, and I had it like in 2 weeks, and it is better than I had imagined, and is really big fan. Now when you do get this bike, there are a couple of seat adjustments. You know, to me they feel about the same, but there's a little plastic piece that's sort of like shaped like the letter H, that you can turn it over on one side or another to make the seat higher or lower. But this seat excuse me, compared to like cruisers and stuff like that, it's a pretty high seat. You know, when I'm at a stoplight, I certainly can't flat foot, but I can you know, have kind of the balls of my feet on the ground. And of course, if, you know, I've got the right foot on the brake and the bike leaned a little bit, it's very comfortable. I mean, that's not an issue, but I'm just not a tall guy, and it takes me a little effort to get on and off the bike. But riding and stopping and all that stuff is easy and very, very worthwhile. I think I did mention this thing's got a slipper clutch. You can adjust your headlights accordingly. There's a little dial that's very easy to access. I really haven't done that because honestly I don't ride at night. You know, and for those who do ride at night, you're brave souls, man, because people are lunatics in the daytime, man. At night, I think it just gets worse. People are just, they don't see you. But anyway, this is I think I've covered everything that I want to cover. So I want to thank you for tuning in, and I hope this was of help to somebody. If you liked it, great. Give me a thumbs up. You don't have to, no big deal. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. And I thank you very much for watching and supporting me. Like I said, this is just fun for me. I'm not looking to make any money, but hope this helps somebody. Thank you all, and have a great day.